Okay, good morning. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Okay, so welcome to the very first today's an audience with Muhammad ALQahtani. I don't want to give you too much information. I'd rather have him explain who he is and what he does. All I'm going to say is he was in your position, he was in your seat many years ago. Where you guys are now, he was there a few years ago. So that's all I will say from my side. But before I invite Muhannad onto the stage, I'll request Saif Khan, who is the head of Foundation Studies, to come and say a few words about this program. Saif.
Assalamu alaikum, gents. Good morning. Thank you for coming and attending. Just a few words from my side. As Ruhal stated, don't want to say too much and let Muhammad do all the talking. Our main aim for you guys is to help and assist you guys to not only go to the hangar and start your technical studies, but is to give you the tools to help you when you actually start working. This is the most important aspect for you guys to focus on. We like to help and assist you throughout your time in foundation and also moving into the technical side of your studies as well. Ruhal has created this motivational sort of aspect to support you guys and show you and let you know what you should be looking forward to. And Muhammad is a key concept in this, that he's been through the same journey as you guys have. So you are fully aware of what you can look forward to, and most importantly, for it to act like a motivational tool for you guys to help you in your studies and push you further on. That's our main aim for you guys. We want you to have a good journey when you're in foundation and throughout the whole college as well. And Mr. Ruhal is a key part of that journey, and he's doing all of this, creating all of these for you guys to take part in this. I hope this thing is going to act as a motivational tool for you to attend, and this thing will continue to happen every month.
Yes.
Please attend, take as much benefit as possible from these talks. Don't consider this as something small or minor. This actually will help you guys to focus and motivate you and help you through your studies as well. That's it from me. Good luck, and thank you, Muhammad, for taking part in this as well.
Okay guys, so now onto our main program. Our guest today, he's originally from Qasim region. He's 24 years old. You guys, most of you are probably cohort 17, 18, I'm not sure, maybe 16, 17. But Muhannad was actually from cohort 1. So he's actually one of the very first students who joined the very college. Muhannad, I'm sure he'll tell his story, but I'm guessing there was only about 40, 50 students at that time when he joined. So I'll let Muhannad to say a lot more about his journey. So can I now please invite Muhannad onto the stage? Can you give him a round of applause, please? He's taking mask off.
Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, Muhannad, how are you feeling this morning?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing?
Good. Okay, so in your own words, Muhannad, tell me, who is Muhannad ALQahtani?
Well, as a short brief about me, my name is Muhannad ALQahtani, and this is going to sound strange for the Saudis. I'm from Al-Qasim. I grew up in Al-Qasim, and I moved to Riyadh when I was 18, and that's when my journey actually started. And I started traveling and away from home until today.
Thank you. Muhannad, let's get a bit more personal. Tell me some of your hobbies. What kind of things do you enjoy?
The things that I actually enjoy are going to be strange for others, but I enjoy reading books on my free time, or also playing video games as well. I'm not one of the football fans, or to be honest, yeah.
So you enjoy reading books?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, if you don't mind, what was the last book you read? Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot.
No. It's okay. The last book that I read was I don't know how. The book was in Arabic. The name is Aqwam Qila. It's about religions.
Nice. Okay. Okay. So you were a student in Cohort 1. What
Yes.
year was that?
Yeah, that was, I started on 2015 or 2016, and I graduated from the first students who joined this college. When the foundation year was actually at the airport, not here.
Okay. So obviously, so 2015, so you're talking about 7 years ago, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
At that time, why did you actually join IATC? At that time, it was called ARC, Aviation Australia Riyadh College. Why did you actually join?
Well, to make the long story short, I was accepted in one of the college in ALQahtani, but I wasn't really interested about the major that I got in. So I heard about a college that teaches students about aircraft maintenance engineering. And I thought, well, and I always liked technology. I always liked programming, like since I was in high school. So I said, well, that sounds really interesting. Let me go and give it a try. I actually came to Riyadh. My parents didn't agree at first. Like I went to Riyadh without even telling them. But they agreed after I got my acceptance as a student in the college.
Many of our students live outside Riyadh. Sorry, students, how many of you actually live from outside Riyadh? Quite a few, right? What kind of advice would you give the students who live outside Riyadh to how they can settle into Riyadh life and the study life?
Okay. So it's not going to be easy. I'm telling you this because it wasn't easy for me. But you got to put an extra effort other than the other ones who they really stay in Riyadh. Some of you can't even afford the pricey rent. So some of you actually work in other jobs after college hours. My advice to you, like if you're going to be working at jobs after college, try to find something that only going to be at the weekends. So you can consume your time at the foundation year. Because I'm telling you, you will really need to develop your English language, even if also after you graduate and you join other companies, English is going to be the main thing. It's going to be like almost the only language that you will be speaking working in this industry.
Okay. Sorry, let's go back again, sorry. So back to the foundation days. Do you have any early memories of the foundation department? Like Mr. Alan Robson, you remember him?
Yes, yes.
You actually remember him?
I do.
He was one of the foundation instructors.
I remember Mr. Alan. He was my teacher, actually.
He didn't remember you. When I told him Muhannad ALQahtani is coming, he didn't remember you.
He remembered me and he remembered which cohort did I join. And that was actually impressive. He told me that you came as a cohort 3. I joined as a cohort 3. I didn't join as a cohort 1, but I passed the PIT exam.
Okay.
And I was telling him it was a funny story.
Tell us some funny stories when Mr. Alan was your instructor. Do you remember anything?
Yes, I actually remember. So I don't know if I didn't have the chance, but they were picking some students who they were good in English to give them it was the KIT exam before it was the PIT exam, right? Yeah, so they gave them the KIT exam to see how good they were, so they can send them to the PIT exam. So I wasn't there when they were choosing students. And I remember there was one student trying to explain to Mr. Allen that he wanted to go to one of the guys at the management and to give his fingerprints or something like that. He was trying to explain in Arabic. He was speaking Arabic. I was sitting in the classroom, just going through my book, and I heard this guy struggling to explain to Mr. Allen. So I got my head up and I said, "Yeah, Mr. Allen, he's just trying to get his fingerprints. He just want to go to that guy." He said, "Hey, wait a minute, you speak English, come on. Let me talk to you." Yeah, so he grabbed me and he said, "Well, yeah, okay, you have a good English." Started asking questions and he went and talked to them. He said, "Well, I have good students over here that he can go and take the KIT exam." Actually, he's the reason why I passed the foundation year.
Round of applause for Mr. Allen. Brilliant. So obviously your English level was quite good. I'm
Yes.
assuming, when you joined the college,
yes,
right?
Yes.
But there's always room for
But
improvement.
no,
We're always learning, right? So what?
I didn't know anything about the aviation and the terminologies, and even my English, it wasn't this good. The foundation year and also the technical year, it really helped me a lot with the aviation terminologies, because afterwards all what you're gonna be speaking is English and aviation terminologies. So you will be talking about tools, you'll be talking about parts and aircrafts, you'll be talking about systems. You're gonna be asked to check a wiring diagram, so you'll need to reach a really high level.
Okay, so you took the PET exam afterwards?
Yes.
Do you remember your mark?
I don't remember my mark, but I remember that I was a B1.
Yeah, probably B2, I'm guessing.
B2.
Okay, so moving forward,
Yep.
you moved over to the vocational campus, the hangar, if you want to call it that.
Yeah.
Tell us about that transition, that journey, when you moved from foundation to vocational to the hangar.
It was actually like a dream. If I remember my days when I was at high school and thinking about college, I never thought that one day I'll be having my notebook and I'll be laying on an aircraft wing taking notes. That was like a dream for me, and I never thought about it. So it was really impressive. It was really challenging, but I put an extra effort. And I remember I had one of the instructors. His name was Oscar. He always
remember Oscar, big Oscar.
Oscar, you know Oscar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Oscar used to always say, whenever you're about to fall down, just give that extra push. So yeah, but the technical year, it was really impressive. Really, the foundation year helped me a lot on my technical year, because on your technical year, now you're done with English. Now you're moving forward into learning about aviation. You will be starting at general. So you'll be starting with basic physics, you'll be starting with mathematics, you'll be starting with aircraft drawings, then you're gonna be moving to engines and power plant and airframe. So you're done with learning English. Now they will teach you about the aircrafts and the systems. So this is why the foundation year is that important, because you will have to know what these words mean when you're reading these books. You will have to know what the teacher is saying when he explains a certain system.
So once you made the transition to the vocational campus, to the hangar, obviously sometimes students think, okay, I don't need English anymore. So obviously you kind of touched upon it, like English is important. So why is it important that they keep developing the English, even if they get the B1?
Even if you got a B1, you will have to work more on your English level. I got a B1 and it wasn't enough for me. I had to work harder. I had to work more, because later on with you, inshallah, everybody here, you will join a company, or you'll be working on aircrafts. You will be dealing with everything will be in English actually. So aircrafts have these manuals. It's basically a book that will explains the whole system of this aircraft and how was it built and how to fix it, or how to do the inspections, or how to replace something at that aircraft, and everything is in English. And also you will be dealing on line aircrafts that they have flights, aircraft that they're spending money. So you will have a line issue, you will go there and you will talk to the pilot by yourself. The pilot will be speaking English. He will show you something on the screen and he will expect you to understand and tell him what's wrong. And also you will have the decision to tell him that can he fly or not.
So you must have had many role models, instructors in your life. And like you said, Mr. Allen, he helped you to pass the foundation year, maybe.
Yes.
Okay, do you have some narrations or anecdotes from the vocational campus, how some instructors, what role they played in your life? You saw them for many hours, I'm guessing?
Basically, it's going to be all of my instructors. They all delivered the message. They all delivered a wisdom. Because I see them as they have a huge experience, they have a huge knowledge, and I have to take some of it. As for us, Oscar was really impressive. So Oscar told us, as for an example, as for goals. So Oscar once taught me that goals will never end. You will always have a goal in your life. And you should never think about that once you reach a goal, that's where you stop. So my role models were also my coworkers or my colleagues, students, the people who they spent effort, the people who they work hard. Every time I see someone who puts more effort than what I do or do something better than I do, I see that guy and I say, well, if he can do it, of course I can do it. Of course anybody can do it.
Okay, so my last question around your student life, I just remembered a quote, Malcolm X, you know Malcolm X?
Yes.
Okay, Malcolm X, you know, I'm paraphrasing here, not word for word. He said, in life, we might stumble, okay? As long as we don't fall, we are okay. So we can have little trips, but we don't fall flat on our face. So obviously, a lot of our students, you know, they go for different challenges, they have issues with attendance sometimes, family issues, different issues, right?
Yes.
What kind of advice would you give our students, like to make sure they keep going and make sure they don't fall? They will face challenges, okay?
Yes.
So what advice would you give them that they just make sure they don't fall flat on the face, if that makes sense?
To develop what, or to add to what Malcolm X said, even if you fall, you can also get up on your feet again. You will go through moments where you think that that's the end. And I'm sure that some of you already went through these moments when you thought that that's the end, and here you are now breathing, and obviously it wasn't the end. So every time you fall, just learn from your mistakes, or know the reason why did you fall at the first place, and get up again and give that extra kick. Give that extra kick to get on your feet. It's not going to be easy, especially for the ones who they came outside of Riyadh. I know what you're going through. I know about working after college hours. I know about feeling homesick. Also, that's going to be a trouble. But working hard will always pay off. That's my only rule.
So work hard.
You work hard.
Smart as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so your student life came towards the end. I'm assuming you did some on-the-job training first? You did some training before you did your full-time career?
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Yes, I can tell you that. So we were the first students who they ever go to an OJT, or the first students who they ever
So
graduate.
what OJT means?
Sorry?
For student, what's OJT? What does it stand for?
OJT is on-job training. Is a training before you go to the job. It's like the summer training in some college. So for this OJT, you'll need to have it. I don't know about how it's the rules right now, but I think on the last year on summer, you should have the OJT from other companies like Saudi Airlines, Aramco, THC, and etc. Like all the other companies. So for the OJT, it wasn't really easy for us. We went. I'm from Al-Qasim. I had friends from Riyadh, and we went to Saudi Airlines in Dammam because they were the only ones who they were available, because it was a new thing. So we went to Dammam. We didn't get paid. They didn't pay us anything. We had to squeeze into a small apartment, and so we can get along with the rent too.
The struggles of a student life.
Yeah. It was really tough. So we had to work hard. We had to spend effort. We had to drive like every single day for 40 minutes to King Fahd Airport in Dammam. And we were working with the Saudi Airlines. So we were working with mechanics and A&P technicians. So they were teaching us on the Boeing 777, Airbus A320. So they were like teaching us the basics and giving us our OGT hours.
Okay. So you did your OGT training, then I assume slowly you started looking for full-time employment.
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us? Your full-time employment, some of your stories, where you started?
You mean after graduation?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So there were some companies that they will take you before you even graduate at your last year or at the last semester. I got in with Aramco, alhamdulillah, thank to God, and first, and we started at training with Aramco. They were also teaching us English, even though that I graduated from here for a 1 year and a B1 level. They were also teaching us English, just to show you how important to have the English language it is with the aviation industry, to be specific. So I started with Aramco as a trainee. We started working on helicopters. They started showing us the helicopters, the system, how do they do the work, how do they do their meetings, and how do you comply with the assigned jobs that you get. And it was a tough start actually, because I started in a remote area. I started my training in Riyadh. I moved to Abqaiq. I stayed in Abqaiq. I'm sure half of the people here don't know Abqaiq. Moved to Abqaiq. I spent 6 months over there. Then I moved to Dhahran for a month. Then I moved to a remote area, and 90% that nobody knows. It's called a Tanajib. It's near to Jubail, a private airport for Aramco. And I started over there. It was a tough start, 12 hours a day.
Wow.
Yeah.
So tell me a typical day at work for you. So Muhammad ALQahtani goes to work in the morning. How does his day look like?
It's gonna be waking up 4 a.m.
Wow.
Yes, it's gonna be waking
4
up
a.m.
4 a.m. Yeah.
I thought I had it hard.
Yeah, waking up 4 a.m., getting ready, leaving to work. I live 40 or 45 minutes away from work, and I start driving by 5, because if I drove after 5, I'm gonna be late. So I know my time limit. So I start driving by 5. And I start my work over there. We start with a meeting actually. They assign all the jobs, all the tasks. They tell which guy is going to be handling the line. As for us avionics, on the avionics section, we all going to be responsible for the line duties. If we can actually share some pictures.
You want to do that now?
Over here.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a Agusta AW139 helicopter, and this is how the instrument panel looks like. So if you're asking me about how important English is going to be, I'm going to tell you a pilot is going to call you on the line, and he's going to point on something on the screen, and you're supposed to read and know what the issue is. Alhamdulillah, I've been I have 4 years experience right now, and alhamdulillah, I'm fully confident when I go to a pilot or when I have a line issue or something like that. I go by myself. I handle the night shift operation by myself. I had some nights where I was alone and I was totally fine, and I'm handling a whole crew by myself. So this is how a Agusta 139 instrument panel looks like. Here you have the MCDUs, the MFDs, PFDs, the display units. And some of the work that we do at Aramco, we do what we call it the 4-year inspection or the heavy inspection. As you can see here, you pull the whole thing off. You take the whole instrument panel off. And how do you take it off? You go through the manual. And what language is the manual? It's going to be in English. So you got to know how to put all these wires back. So you definitely need the English language. Yeah. And this is some of the softwares that we do on the aircraft too. Same aircraft, Augusta AW139. I was doing the navigation software. Yeah. And this is how the hangar looks like. These are pictures from the internet. So this is how the hangar looks like. You'll be ripping off helicopters, taking the whole, what we call it, the main rotor or the head off. And yeah.
Okay, so I have two more questions before we give opportunity for students to ask questions. What was your dream when you were a young boy? Was it always to work in the aviation industry, or when did you actually decide, okay, this is a career I want to pursue?
Well, thank you. Well, my dream was really simple. My dream was that I wanted to leave my fingerprint before I leave this world. My passion about aviation started since forever, since a time that I can't even remember, especially with technology. I love technology, I love programming, softwares, robots, since I was young. And I found an industry that will combine both of them, both of aircrafts, flying, aviation, and also technologies. So that's why I chose to be a aircraft or a helicopter avionics.
Okay, and my final question, where will ALQahtani be in about 5 years' time?
That's an interview. That's an actual interview question.
If you can look forward, where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I never thought about it, but I'll just say in a better place, reaching my goals. That's all what's actually matters for me. The reason of living for me is reaching goals, you know.
Okay, and my last question would be, if there was a final piece of advice you can give to our students before they get the opportunity to ask you a question, what advice do you have for our students? Final advice, if you were to give one to students, what would it be?
Your job or if this was your dream starts now. Or if this was the job, your job will start now. It's not about after you graduate. No, it will start today. Because today you will be learning English, and afterwards you will be starting on the technical year. You'll be learning all the technical subjects, the AMP subjects. If I have an advice, work hard on the basics of English, the basics of the technical year. I'm trying my best to show you how important is the English language in this industry, in the aviation industry. And I want to give you an advice that after, inshallah, everybody will pass the foundation year. I want you to work harder on the basics too. When you start the technical year, you will be studying about tools. You will be studying about different subjects. They will start teaching you about basic electricity. They will start teaching you about ohms, voltage, diodes. They will start teaching you about the power plant engines, turbofan, turboprop, turbojet, and turboshaft. So hold on into your basics, because these are like the first step in your in the stairs of your dream. Like you need this first step so you can build something on it. So when you have the basics, you can move on by yourself. You can develop by yourself. You just need the basics. So my advice in general is that work hard. Working hard will always pay off. Learning, building your English language will take you to the technical year, and after the technical year, remember that's not going to be the end. You will have job interviews, you will have jobs, and you will need your English at them.
Thank you, Muhannad. That brings me to the end of my questions. Can you have a round of applause for Muhannad, please? Okay, now it's an opportunity for students to ask Muhannad questions. Okay, so if you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll come to you one by one. Faraz, can you help me out? Okay, the student at the front, just come to the front. The one at the front, just come. Take the mic, please. Just take this. He can ask the mic on the mic the question.
Oh, okay.
Just come. Yeah, just come here on the mic.
Salam alaikum.
Do you think it's difficult to find a job for a civilian student today?
No, I don't think it will ever be hard to find jobs for a civilian. We have people from the outside of Saudi. So what do you think about a Saudi citizen trying to find a job? We have people coming in without that huge experience, and they're not Saudis. I'm talking about like different nationalities.
Because
So
because students will finish the college, it's difficult here to find a job if you're a civilian.
okay, I hear these rumors. Actually, I call them they're rumors. They're not real. So he asked me about it's gonna be harder for you if you were a civilian to find a job. And I'm telling you guys, I know friends that they have companies they're fighting to get to. So if anybody is telling you that it's hard to find a job after you graduate from here, just leave that guy. I can assure you, if he was talking about a personal experience, I had some people who they came to me with a personal experience. They were saying that we couldn't find a job, and I couldn't find something, and nobody is hiring. And that's why I'm advising you to hold on to your basics. Because when I asked the guy how an aircraft flies, can you explain me the basic of aerodynamics? He told me, well, the air will come below the wings and it will start climbing up. I told him, no, you have positive pressure, you have negative pressure. You will have the elevator, you have something called the ailerons. You'll need to know all of that. So when you have someone who tells you that, oh, this major, you can talk about all the majors in the whole kingdom. You will always find one guy who will tell you that, oh, this major have no jobs. You can never find a job. So don't believe that. Don't go with it. Don't even think about it. About jobs, especially in the aviation industry, there will always be jobs.
Thank you, Muhannad. Next question. The student at the back, just come to the front. Yep. Mention your name and then ask the question.
My name is Muhannad. I just want to ask you about what is the most hard issue that's facing you as a student, and how to
Overcome the issue.
overcome the issue.
So, what is the most difficult issue you faced as a student, and how did you overcome it?
Nothing was easy, actually. To say what was the most difficult. Nothing was easy, or nothing was impossible, but nothing was easy. There will never be something easy, actually, with developing yourself, your skills, and all of that. But as for me, it was actually the rumors. I was actually trying to be a avionics تخصص بالكهرباء طيارات. I was actually trying to be in avionics when I first joined the technical year, and everybody was telling me, no, it's going to be hard, no, it's not going to be easy, and no, you can't pass it. So I started actually believing it, and I started actually not doing good in avionics and all the basic electricity subjects. So my hardest part was,
Ignore the rumors.
Yeah.
That's your advice.
Welcome.
Next question. Okay, the student at front.
Salam.
My name is in the future, do we will study about everything in Islam, or just one thing what we do after that?
Okay. So the question was, are you going to study the whole airplane, or yes, you will study every system, because you will have to know every system on that airplane. You will have to know basic electricity. You will have to know the developed electricity, as what are the systems that are included in aircrafts. Like for an example, you know the black box. You will have to know what is the black box, what is the system. The black box, we call it the ALT. What's the ALT stands for? Emergency Locator Transmitter. You'll have to know what's the system. Is it one device or two? So you'll have to know that there are two. There's a recorder, so you'll have to study everything. And also you have the mechanical field. So you'll have to study different type of engines. They will teach you about the turbofan, turboprop, the turbojet, and turboshaft. And you could be working on only, like as for me, I work only on a turboshaft engine. I never worked on a turbofan or a turboprop, but they will have to teach you that. Why? Because when you graduate from this college, you don't know where you're going to be working at. And also you will have to know the basics of these, the basics of the mechanical engineering, the basics of the aerodynamics, the basics of electricity, because you will be working in all these subjects, if you were a mechanic or a avionics. And also for the guys, they have the major over here. I just actually know it, the UAV.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
they have it now.
Yeah.
Military, there is no exception, right?
No, there is no exception, no.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We got time for a few more questions. Anybody else? Okay, come to the front, please.
Salam.
That's about from a military department. Is it true that companies prefer to take military professionals because of the experience that they had in the military?
I'm trying to. So you're asking about if companies will prefer to have a guy with the military experience? Then it depends on the company. Like for an example, you have Al-Salam. If you were working for the military, you'll be working for fighters, like the F-15, the F-16, I don't know, a lot of fighters. But you will be working on these certain military type aircrafts. So when you leave the military industry or the military department, as you call it, you'll be going to a Salam company, like for an example. Why? Because Salam, they handle military aircraft. They have a contract with the military itself. So if I own the Al Salam and I have a guy, a civilian guy, and I have a military experienced guy, I'm sure, I can assure you that I will take the military guy. But they're just two different paths, two different ways. You don't take it as what do they prefer and what they don't prefer. Once you're experienced on something, once you are talented and you build up your skills, you'll be good in any place.
And another question, from a military guy, is it okay to have GAC? Would benefit me from taking after like retirement to do some teaching or join companies to train people?
Yes, if you meet the GACA requirements, you should have a GACA right after you graduate from this college. The most important advice that I would like, it's not going to be the most important, but a really good advice after you graduate from this college, try your best to get the GACA license as fast as you can. Once you graduate, just start working on it. If it was for teaching, yes, it will help you. If you are on the military, for an example, and you meet the GACA requirements, just try to take it as soon as you can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, last one question. Anybody? Just shoot it there.
Well, actually, I got two questions. My first question is about the track, the civilian track. So, is the civilian track easier than military in terms of study, or there's no difference?
No, you can't compare. Like you can't say this is gonna be harder, this is gonna be easier. They're both the same. They're both gonna require you effort, and and you will need to put that. You will need to do your best at both, if you are a military or a civilian.
The second question is about the track, the same question, but the studying or the track after the studying, I mean, the work, is it the same of the military track, like the work?
Yes, it's
the civilian maintenance, is it the same of military, or there's a difference?
no, it's gonna be the same. You will be handling aircraft. The difference is the difference is the industries. If you're working at a manufacturer, or if you're working at a airline, or if you're working at a private airline or commercial airline,
It's all the same.
it's not gonna be the same. I'm telling you. You have manufacturing, you have like parts manufacturing as a Sharq al-Awsat, they handle engines. So they do overhaul, or they do like something like manufacturing for engines. If you're talking about As-Salam, they got both. They got the line maintenance, or they got the routine inspections for aircrafts, like normal maintenance.
The civilian maintenance, there is a difference between the civilian maintenance and the military maintenance.
No, I'm telling you, there's a difference between the industry. Like the civilian and military, they're both the same.
Okay.
So you will be working on maintaining the aircraft, maintenance. As the difference between civilian is only the aircraft. For civilian, you will be working on commercial aircraft. You'll be working on a fixed wing airline commercial aircraft. You'll be working on helicopters with commercial purposes. If you're working on the military, you'll be working on fighters. You'll be working like, they have like, for an example, there's that helicopter they call the H-145. We have it in Aramco for civilians, to take civilians for oil rigs in the sea, and they're like modified for civilian duties or purposes.
The main thing is
Then, yeah, and you have the same helicopter, but with the military, but it's different. They have weapons, they have missiles on it. So they're both the same.
Thank
You're
you.
most welcome.
My question, I think I have done the
Yeah.
last question since I asked the first question. It'll be a shame if you didn't give some advice in Arabic to our students. Can you spend a few minutes just to give some advice to our students in Arabic, please?
أكيد نعم أكيد. يا جماعة اللي عنده أي سؤال لو بيبغى يسأل بالعربي ما عندي أي مشكلة. طبعا أنا قلت لا ما نقدر ناخذ كل الوقت بالإنجليزي، يعني خلونا ناخذ جزء منه على الأقل بالعربي عشان لو في أحد يبغى يسأل أو شيء. اللي يبغى يسأل بالعربي ياخذ راحته. تمام. سم. تقدر. سؤال يقول هل ممكن الطالب المدني يكون طيار بعدين؟ الطيران رخصة. فأنت لما تجي مثلا شغال في شركة دوامك 8 ساعات، اجازتك سنويه والله عندك 30 يوم، تقدر خلال سنتين انك تقسمها وتروح تختبر على رخصه طيار كوميرشال بايلوت، تاخذ برايفت بايلوت، تاخذ كوميرشال بايلوت، تدرسها وتاخذها الحال. في بعض الشركات عندهم برامج، اتوقع شفت برنامج الشركه شركه اسمها THC، قالوا اللي عنده رخصه وعنده شيء يجي عندنا وإحنا ناخذه، فهي مجرد رخصه انت تقدر تاخذها يعني. سم
ايش التخصصات المطلوبه بالنسبه للشركات؟ ايش اكثر التخصصات المطلوبه بالنسبه
كل التخصصات مرغوبه، انا اقولها لكم بالصريح، كل التخصصات مرغوبه، وانت واجتهادك واحترافيتك في التخصص هذا. تخصص كهرباء، التخصصات هي ثلاثه، شيت متل حقين صفائح معدنيه، الميكانكس والافيونكس حقين الكهرباء والبرمجيات. كل التخصصات هذه مطلوبه. تتكلم عن خبره او برضه يعني واحد توه متخرج، فكل التخصصات هذه الثلاثه مطلوبه. بتكلمني عن الرواتب والفرق بينهم وايش الاكثر طلب وايش الاكثر اللي فيه نقص، المقارنه هذه تختلف من شركه لشركه. في شركه عندها والله تحتاج موظفين متخصصين بالصفائح معدنيه كثير مثل شركه السلام، في شركه والله تبغى ميكانكس كثير مثل شركات الايرلاينز، يعني تتراوح، بس كل التخصصات مطلوبه.
Muhannad, because we only have a few more minutes, can you just give us some general advice to students about in Arabic?
انا Arabic.
General
تمام.
advice.
نصيحه نختم فيها، شد حيلك باللغه، لان كل لغه هذه ترى بتحتاجها في عملك، تحتاجها بعدين. انت بتبدا انا قلتها بالانجليزي بس بقولها بالعربي برضو، انت بتبدا بالسنه التقنيه متوقعين منك انه انت خلاص ترى خلصت من الانجليزي، فبياخذك على طول بيدخلك بالمواد، يمسك بيجلس يشرح لك عن المحركات انواعها، محركات التربوفان، التربو بروب، التربو جت، هذه بيشرحها لك بالانجليزي، بيجلس يدرسك عنها. مشيت والله بطريقه ما اجتهدت وقدرت انك تمسك الكتب وتفهم الانجليزي على قد حالك يعني، ما همك او ما اهتميت، بتجيك مقابله بعدين. الاسئله كل شيء عندك ترى راح يكون بالانجليزي. العربي يعني ما اقول لك انسى، بس شبه انسى لما تيجي تدخل بالوظيفه. حتى اللي تتعامل معهم راح يكونون اجانب، الطيارين راح تتعامل معهم بيكلمونك بالانجليزي. اتوقع ماني متاكد انهم اصلا ممنوع انه يكلمونك حتى بالعربي لما يجي يتواصل معك على الراديو او شيء. فنصيحه لوجه الله، اهتموا بالسنه هذه التحضيريه، لا يخوفكم الموضوع، لا يخاف اللي والله يشوف انه ما عنده اي امكانيات او اللغه الانجليزيه عنده مستواها منخفض جدا. انا كان عندي واحد من الشباب الله يستر عليه بفضح، بدا السنه التحضيريه ما يقدر يقدم نفسه، ما يقدر يقول hello everyone my name is فلان. الان ما شاء الله تبارك الله، والله العظيم اقولها لكم صادق، الحين ما شاء الله تبارك الله ينافس النيتيف سبيكرز اللي لغتهم الام هي الانجليزي. يجي عندنا بالدوام يمسكهم طقطقه، يلا تعال وش معنى الجمله هذه، وش معنى الكلمه هذه. فشدوا حيلكم، الله يوفقكم ان شاء الله ويرزقكم بالوظيفه الزينه والبي 1، تنتظرون بي 1 انتم، الله يسهل امركم جميعا.
Thank you, Muhannad. Thank you, Muhannad. On behalf of the college, we really appreciate it. The invitation is always open for you to come back whenever you're in Riyadh.
Thank you.
You don't need an invitation.
Yeah.
It's an open invitation.
Thank you.
Whenever you want, we are more than happy to host you again.
And I really appreciate this event. This was actually one of the best ideas that you have. I wish يعني أنا أتمنى يوم إني كنت طالب يعني إنه كان في أحد يجي يكلمنا يقول لنا وش الوضع بعد التخرج. هم جينا إحنا الدفعة أولى، ما في أي أحد. There was nobody had the experience. Like I told them, I wish that we had someone who will
Yes.
talk to us.
That's the thing. We want people like yourself, other people, even from the community, to come and inspire and motivate our
I
students.
will do my best on that.
You know.
I will do my best on that.
Because you're in the industry. If you have anybody else, you know, I'm sure you have a lot of colleagues who
I
are
will,
happy to come and speak to us.
inshallah, I have a lot of friends who they will actually be happy to talk to them.
That's brilliant, and we would really appreciate it. Okay, guys, hope you enjoyed it, and that's the end of today's program. Instructors, you can take your students back to the classroom. Thank you. Sorry, guys, it's the end. You can go now. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was
That
really
was a
good.
good one, huh?
No, it was a good.
Thank
it was
you.
a brilliant program. It was a really good program.